We live in a fast-paced and hectic world where it's easy to feel overwhelmed, stressed, and out of control. How do you manage all the competing pressures without losing sense of yourself? How do you stay focused enough to not only plot a path, but follow it? Welcome to Master Your Life, a show that offers inspiration, insight, and intelligence, as well as success stories from many walks of life that can show you how you can control your own destiny. Our knowledgeable and entertaining host and her guests give practical advice that you can use every day in the quest to master your life. Now, here's your host, Leaha Mattinson.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. I'm so excited to have each and every one of you tuning in from wherever it is that you are on this glorious planet we call Earth, sometimes Mother Gaia, Earth, planet Earth. And I'm so excited to also introduce, if you're listening on the podcast, I want to encourage you to come over to UK Health, or start again, sorry. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. I'm so excited to, this so never happens. Okay, hang on a second. Let's do it again. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever it is you are on this glorious planet. I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here and invite you to just take one moment and to share this link with a friend or family member who might be struggling with any heavy issues such as weight. It's my absolute divine pleasure to invite back to the show for this wonderful episode, Erika Ramelli. Erika specializes in helping people to rebalance their energy using bioresonance and plants. Erika, welcome to today's show.
Hi, sweet friends. This is always an honor to be here playing with you, empowering individuals, and sharing some amazing wisdom delivered by our friends, plants. All of the herbal recipes. Yes, we're going to be talking about lots of really cool, juicy tips you could be doing to get a little bit of that weight, undesired weight, off of your beautiful body. Or actually the other way around, maybe add some weight to your beautiful body.
Add some weight to your beautiful body. And we thought this was a really important subject to talk about because so many people are struggling with body issues and with health issues related to weight. And I was curious about, Erika, maybe you could share with people some of your perspective on how did you learn, or what did you learn about food and weight as a young person?
For me, it's a very unique path because I address any kind of physical manifestation from an energetic standpoint. So it's really about the root cause. It's not so much about the actual weight. It's more about what in your lifestyle, what in your perception, in your emotions triggered that particular behavior that ended up leading to difficulty in getting that weight or those toxins off the body. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of understanding the emotional and energetic root cause that might be triggering behavior. And it could be weight related, or it could be sleep related, or other things. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about the weight. So the reason number one for a lot of the weight that is on the lower part of the belly is stress related. The upper part of your belly is more food choices and the alcohol and the sugars and the sweets and all that. But the lower part of your belly is very related to hormones and your lifestyle. So I think I'm going to address that area specifically, kind of your love handles and the lower part of the belly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, millions and millions of people. So I just want to encourage people to grab a paper and pen, or make sure you have your phone handy so that you can take notes along this. And I also want to invite people to understand we're talking about people who are both underweight and obese. Mm-hmm. So it does not have to be just 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, because they're all related and linked to how we approach food and what we're doing energetically with food. And we're not speaking only as professionals who deal in this subject matter and have for decades help people to lose weight and get rid of fatty liver and deal with all kinds of behavioral psychological problems. I myself was overweight, 100 pounds, over 100 pounds.
100 pounds. You look beautiful. For those of you who have not checked her out, this goddess is radiant. Your skin is beautiful. Your hair is glowy. You are super fit and vibrant. 100 pounds is a lot. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And the reason I'm sharing is not for the, the pat on the back necessarily, but I really do think people have an idea that that they'll always struggle with weight, that it's always going to be an albatross around their neck, that they're never going to be free of it. And so I'm not a unicorn. I think everybody can learn the stuff that Erika and I are teaching in order to help you to have that healthy weight that you want. So this goes back to that overlying message that we both have talked about through 7 episodes now of know thyself. And so so starting with the end in mind of knowing thyself, please tune in that regard. And what is it that you're struggling with, and how can we help you with the tools and strategies and things that we know to help you to no longer be struggling with this?
I love it. So I'm a holistic nutritionist. I think that is also valuable to add.
Yes.
Stress management counselor. I've studied Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, and my master's degree is in herbology. So I'm a master herbalist. And all that comes together on a beautiful plan of how to balance the energy flow through the body, through the meridian, so that every one of your organs can function the way it was intended in an optimal way. For me, I've seen that a lot of the root cause for that weight gain was triggered by an event that happened. And it could be a difficult childhood, for example, a very strict father. It could be some form of abuse, verbal, emotional, physical, whatever that was, that caused the person to begin to hide, almost to is not self-destruct, but just to hide, to not have, not to have all that attention drawn in. And so they begin to wear these big baggy clothes and the hair to kind of energetically distract the crowd from the fact they're there. And if this applies to you, I want to be really gentle as I speak to these cases, but I also want to be honest and truthful in sharing that you do have here a friend that is ready to listen, ready to help you out, and be able to give you a little bit of guidance on how to take your life and your desired manifestation of who you want to be to the next level. So stress, any kind of stressor in your life might have triggered something like that. And then that also triggers the cocktail of hormones that begins to dance within your body. And we end up with things like PCOS or like cysts or thyroid issues that now for real really make it a lot more difficult. And it goes beyond just, are you going to the gym or not? Or are you eating your salads or not? So I want to address that. If you
actually just break down PCOS. So just for people who are acronym not familiar. Okay, no.
So
when you say it fast, what does it mean?
So PCOS is related to cysts in the ovaries. Yes. So especially for women, young women, they begin to develop in their feminine parts cysts and complications triggered by hormones. And I've seen in my experience in my career that a lot of those young girls had very difficult patriarchal fathers or environments. So this high level of yang energy put their femininity, their delicate feminine energy out of balance. And so subconsciously, a lot of these girls, and I say a lot, not all, okay, there's lots of exceptions and everything, but a lot of the energy, the undercurrent of it comes from an excess of yang energy that views the female as something or an energy that is weak. And therefore, the girl wants to please the father or the patriarch and begins to become tough. Just, I'm independent. I can do this. And this energy slowly diminishes the feminine force. And how is that related? Well, directly to the feminine parts. So that is one of them. And all of them have a lot of water retention and weight gain.
Okay, wonderful. And just to get people who are thinking that this episode is just for the gals, if you're a partner of somebody that has these things that are going on, like the weight gain, pain related, pain in their lower feminine parts, it's a good tune in for you as well, because maybe they're not listening right now, but you're going, oh, hey, that's what so-and-so has been struggling with. A lot of pain in the lower area. And I've heard it from my sister's friends. It's a good, or whoever, it's a good time to tune in and go, okay, how could this episode help them? Because again, mastering your life is about helping yourself and helping other people. So Erika, thank you for just breaking that down a little bit, because I think the body for men, they look at women and go, it's a complete mystery to me why you are doing what you're doing over there. And I want to understand, but you on the other side of this conversation are not able to articulate where that's what we're doing here. Is helping with some of the articulation of these things that men might be experiencing in their partners, but that the partner can't actually say, here's what's going on for me. Now you might be able to diagnose that a little bit or have a conversation about it and say, hey, hun, is this what's going on? Or, hey, sweetheart, is this what's going on? Are you feeling like this? And that's why it's relevant for both men and women to tune in.
I love that. So if you're a father specifically, so we can close the topic of PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you're the father of that girl, or if you're a partner or a brother, I want to address the solution, right? Because we're going to open this up. So what do we do? Great. Okay. I know someone. Now what? Let's address forgiveness. And I talk about Ho'oponopono a lot, which is a Hawaiian healing art of forgiveness. So I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You say these 4 words towards the person or towards your body. You can literally put your hands on your body and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So for those individuals that do have PCOS or some thyroidal related issues, I invite you to address it from an energetic standpoint, to make peace with whatever happened and go, yep, that was my life. Oops. Well, okay, it's part of it. And just laugh and be okay with it and move on. That will literally help you address the weight gain and the water retention. Very good.
I'll take it a little step further with the chi energy of taking care of the water retention by knocking on your kidneys. So knocking on your kidneys is a really good one. I know a lot of you aren't watching, but if you're not watching, you certainly can pause and go to masteryourlife.ca so you can watch the video version of this program. But I'll explain it. You just take your hands with fists and knock on the back where your kidneys are at, and you tip your tailbone under a slight bit, and you breathe energy into those kidneys. That's where all the water and the battery pack of your body actually is. So as you inhale, you picture nice bright blue energy going in. And as you exhale, you picture the same, or the removing of blockages from that area.
Is there a better time of day to do that?
I think whenever you're feeling stagnation is a good time to touch your body and to get it moving. And so it's very sentient for each person. So I would say it really is when you notice that you have tightness and tension in your back, or that you're holding your breath, because that's a fear response, so it's like that, taking a moment, getting back in your body, getting grounded, getting rooted, knocking out anything that is there that's stuck and stagnant. Great question.
Love that.
Love that.
Okay. So if you're an individual that maybe does not have a lot of trauma or had a good, happy life and is just experiencing a little stress, and this could be just acute stress or some episodic stress or things that just kind of keep on happening, and you happen to be in a patch of life where all of these things are just kind of happening at the same time. One of the first things to go is going to be your eating habits, your routines. You're either going to stop eating because you're busy and you're stressed, and your body is going to tell you, actually, this is not the time to be pausing and eating. We have all these things to do and take care of. So your eating habits might fluctuate on the downside, and you might enter now a space of potential malnutrition. And I speak of malnutrition as a lack of usable nutrition, usable nutrients for your cells. Or you enter the other aspect of wanting really highly caloric fats and sugars and energy and glucose to give the body the energy it needs in order to go through this particular period you're going to face. But here's my tip for you guys. If this is you and you're experiencing these times of stress, as you recognize, oh, my body is craving these fried foods or these sugars, please give it to yourselves, but in a healthier way. So if you are craving something sweet, eat a date, eat a juicy fruit, eat a sherbet or a frozen yogurt or a yogurt instead of the ice cream, instead of the brownies. So try to make those minute choices that really enhance how your body is going to be able to work, pretty much. Fats. You're craving a little fat. Awesome. Avocado, way to go. Coconut, way to go. Those are incredibly healthy fats, and they're actually going to be usable by your body.
Right. And I think those are really great points. And what I love about that too, Erika, is that you're talking about things that aren't chronic here. You're talking about situational, circumstantal, something that comes up and all of a sudden that you notice this thing that's different about you. So that's really important. So that would be for people who haven't necessarily struggled with weight in their lifetime, but they're just noticing that something's a little bit off kilter. And so that's a beautiful thing. What about for people who don't have avocado and coconut close at hand? What would be some other alternatives?
One of the must-haves is raw cacao. And you can hear it with my accent. I am actually from Colombia. Yes, I grew up in Switzerland. And my mom is from Colombia, so I'm half Swiss, half Colombian, which either way, on both sides, it's chocolate and cocoa, right? One has the raw material and the other one makes the final product. So definitely have some raw cacao in your pantry at all times. And so one of my favorite beverages, especially if you're busy and you gotta go, cacao, just a plain raw ceremonial grade cacao that is wholesome, still has the healthy fats, the minerals, the incredible long lists of vitamins in it. And cacao has magnesium. Why is that important? Because magnesium works with calcium. They're brothers. And calcium's job is to contract the muscles and hold the structure. I'm simplifying this, but in a simplistic way. Calcium contracts and holds structure and helps to structure bones and such. Magnesium's job is to relax the muscles. And a deficiency in magnesium can kill you. It is actually the only mineral that could kill a human if we lack magnesium. You can die out of a magnesium deficiency. You will not die out of calcium or sodium deficiency. What do I want to say with that? If you are busy and you don't have a lot of things around you, you do have cacao. It is a wholesome superfood. And if that's all you had that day, good for you. You're good. Chia seeds. Chia seeds last a long time in your pantry. And Leah, did you know that a human can actually survive on 1 tablespoon of chia seeds a day? So they hydrate and they gain 1,000 times their weight, but they're packed with minerals, vitamins, protein, and all sorts of good stuff. So what I want to say with this is that if you find yourself in times of stress, then make choices that will give you more value for your buck, more value for your time, more value for your effort, and will help the body cope through that period that you're going through.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful advice. And so again, make notes, guys, and share this podcast with people because it's very important information. And I'll speak to this magnesium deficiency a little bit, Erika, because my son had this at 20, before he was 22 years old, and he went in and it was like the doctors were going, what the heck is going on? Because young men rarely have this. So he had to actually have transfusions, or not transfusions, but an IV of magnesium, of magnesium in order to bring that level back up. So it is very, very serious. So folks, know your body, know thyself, know thyself.
Yes, chocolate, way to go. And it also boosts dopamine. So in times of stress, it's also good and delicious. Now, quickly, the difference between that, and I don't want to take a lot of our time today talking about cacao and chocolate, but chocolate is the mixture. Mm-hmm. So it's a raw cacao mixed with milk, water, and other ingredients, sugar, and so on. Cacao is just a plain ingredient. So you can actually make your hot chocolate by yourself. You just add the milk or a sweetener of choice. You're in Canada. I love maple syrup in my hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's so delicious. And in other things as well. Maple syrup and chili is also good.
Yum. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is very delicious.
Now that you say chili, again, if you're listening and you're thinking about weight loss, there's this beverage that you can make with cayenne and a little ginger that stimulates the body. And actually, they do a lot of beautiful cleanses with it. So you have hot water, cayenne, a little bit of maple syrup, just a little bit, some ginger, and coriander, fennel seeds, and you make this infusion and sip on it for 2 days. And it helps flush the liver with a lot of toxins, which at the end, that's really the reason why we gain weight. And I'm one of them, right? We see through the year, we gain a little, we lose a little, we just kind of go in this dance. But if you notice that you're gaining weight and there's a break point when you go, oh, what's the point? Right. And maybe it happened to you. Like there's a point where you notice your pants are a little tighter and you buy a size up and then you go, okay, I'll do it. And you do that a few times until you go, what the heck? So I want to address those individuals and let you know you can do it. And you can do it with the help of beautiful plants that will assist your intention. So you don't have to do it just with water and go to the gym. That is boring. Boring. I completely agree.
And hard on the body. It's very hard on the body. The gym is hard on the body.
God, it is boring. Now, my go-to is 12 minutes on the floor, wherever I'm at in the house. And I could be listening to a song or I could be doing something. And I do this little routine that's literally just 12 minutes. But I do it very often. And I make sure that in my day, I have an infusion every day, guys. Every day, one infusion of an herb that tastes good to you. So it's sustainable, that helps burn fat or process some of the foods that you're consuming. Fennel is beautiful for that. Fennel is a great support system, especially for individuals that are pre-diabetic. So have at home, just order a bag of fennel seeds and anise star seed, that beautiful star seed. Have it at home, and after your meals, have some hot water, add the seeds to it, drink that. It's super sweet and delicious, and it helps you process that meal you just had.
Right. Beautiful. And if anyone isn't tuning in to see how beautiful Erika is and how this little 12-minute routine of hers is, make sure again, that you come to the masteryourlife.ca website, because she also is the glowing skin, happy, nice looking complexion and teeth and great energy. So I guess that why I want people to visually see what we're talking about is because what I find is lots of coaches in this space really are still struggling with their own stuff, so take advice from, take the advice that's working to help people get healthy and keep healthy. So on that 12-minute routine, like I do anywhere from 30 seconds to 7 minutes of Qigong. Same though, I do it several times in the day. And I was a gym rat at one point. And I was called the eighth wonder of the world when I was 45 years old.
Look at you,
but my body completely broke down. And so again, I can speak to this, the whole Western sort of side of things of no pain, no gain, where Qigong is no pain, no pain. It's really about how do we actually do things in a gentle way that is for our body as women, or even as men, who like just how do you actually approach your body in a way that's loving and really to love the body in this three-dimensional world that we're in, and to not continue to do things to it that are harsh and harming. It's absolutely shocking to me the number of people who will go for voluntarily gastric bypass, or, these kinds of things that are really invasive, really harmful. And because they don't have these sort of golden ticket items or tools to be able to go, hold on, that's not enough, like just hold on a minute. How do I actually get control of this thing? So what you're talking about in these soothing remedies, and for those of you who missed them, we will make sure they're in the show notes. So you can, again, come to the masteryourlife.ca, look for this podcast, look for the recipe in the show notes, that the soothing of our body helps to take us out of that stress state, which is the thing that caused us to eat in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would say, I'm eating because I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm stressed, I'm happy. So now it's like everything's a celebration with food. But the soothing aspect of it was not in alignment with the soothing of the 3D physical body. And so spiritually, you might feel like you've had some nourishment, but the 3D body goes, oh my gosh, what in the world is this that you're putting in me? What are you doing to me? Stop it.
and the body doesn't know how to process all of these chemicals, all of the colorants, corn syrups and things of such. Like, it is just fabricated, lab made, a lot of ingredients. And the body, once it's in, it goes, I don't know what to do with this. So your liver calls the kidneys and go, I don't know, just do something with it. And so the kidneys go, guys, where do I put this? I don't know. The queen sent it. The king sent it. Do something with it. And the body literally does not know what to do with it and just leaves it aside. And just like your assistant or yourself, you get a lot of paperwork you don't know what to do with. What do? You leave it on the side of your desk. And then by the end of 3 months or 6 months or a year, you have this pile of paperwork or files that was never addressed because you were not sure what to do with them. And it's just kind of there. And as the years pass, the pile grows. Same thing in the body.
Yeah. And the body is so influenced by the brain, Erika, too. So I think, again, this whole thing about willpower and looking at your stack of papers and how you actually, or the stack of the file and how you're actually going to deal with that thing. And you go, oh man, I tried yesterday morning and I just could not find the willpower for getting this thing activated, even though I lay in bed at night and I can't actually sleep. Because it's number one thing on my mind is I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way my body feels. I don't want my partner to touch me. And that's for men and women, both. So then not only do you stop touching each other, you eat more because you don't have that actually, you don't have the intimacy anymore. The intimacy is with the thing that's in your hand, which is food. So it's very complex, but the brain, our neurology really affects our ability to do stuff much more than people give credence to it. So I wouldn't mind just actually talking a few minutes about the nutraceutical that we're promoting, because people think it's very complicated to get a healthy brain, but we do have nutraceuticals at Master Your Life that help people specifically with brain and gut biome. And that is Quadrimune. So people who are going, I don't know where to start. My brain continues to outthink me. How am I going to get ahead of this? That's the easiest way to get started. It's much easier, I think, for a lot of people than doing Qigong, because I'll say, just do some Qigong. And people go, well, it seems like it's easy, but I can't even motivate myself to do that.
Yes.
And so, or to have a little bit of tea, have a little bit of this beautiful infusion. And even though it sounds lovely, it's really, for a lot of people, a hard place to start, where the nutraceuticals are something that can help people to reestablish that brain and gut biome quite quickly. So again, if you want to check that out, I take them myself.
I love them. Love them, love them, love them. I've seen amazing results with people. When you do have products that are made with intention, with conscious intention, with beautiful high vibrational ingredients, then that is being absorbed by the body. And then your cells know what to do with it and they can use them. And that is the difference. If you have not checked it out, Quadramune is fantastic. I love the Projuvenol as well.
Yes.
Those are incredible products to help your cells be happy, vibrant, healthy, and really help you achieve your goals. So yes, definitely.
Definitely. I'm just going to show them very quickly here so that people can see them if you're looking for them on the website. And yes, they will be. The packaging is changing soon, but I just want to show people so that when they're looking for it, one of the things that somebody told me who's struggling with a neurological problem is that when they try to find stuff, that they struggle with finding things because they actually can't, even to see the thing in front of them, they can't register it. So I'll send them a book or a recipe, for example, and they'll go, I can't actually intake that. Like I'm trying to intake it and I'm trying to actually create it in my kitchen, but I can't do it. Can you send it to me on a video? Can you send it to me on audio so that I can listen to it? So part of what we're trying to do here is to talk about things, show things, and then get you to try things and be able to buy them and find them for your health. So once your neurology is restored, then your cognition is better. Then you can have that locus of control. So your emotional mastery is improved. The way that you think about things is improved. So again, it's the biggest hack, I think, out there. Because unless you're able to stand in your kitchen, we would joke about me having the red hair and being a witch. I'm in the back of the kitchen. I got my mortar and pestle, and I'm making up my concoctions. This is the next best thing. I can't make enough for all of you. That's really high grade and going to make you feel awesome. But this is a really great way to do that for yourself, and not only for yourself, but for the people who are in your family. So we're, talking about making a commitment to your health for at least a minimum of 90 days, really to think about that. Minimum 90 days. So whatever you're going to do, just make sure that you have a plan that is sustainable for 90 days. Now, when you think about doing something for 90 days, whatever it is, if you're already on the, let's say, on the slower side, it seems overwhelming. So I recommend to do it a week at a time, but with the intention that your path is a minimum of 90 days. And once you get there, just renew yourself for another 90 days and renew yourself for another 90 days in tiny goals of a week at a time. Now, would this be a good time to share some of my simple tips and recipes? I mean, these are cool, super practical tips that I share with some of my clients. Some of these ladies are red carpet women. I work with record labels, individuals and artists that are about to go on tour, that need to be fit, happy, healthy, glowy, that do not have a lot of time. So yes,
what do you think?
On the tips. Bring them on, Erika. Yes, everyone's got out their writing utensil and are ready to take some hot notes. Here we go.
Okay, so today we're talking about weight loss. And we're talking about weight loss in a way that is more wholesome than just the salads in the gym. So the first aspect to weight loss, like I mentioned earlier, comes from a sense of stress or an undercurrent of energies. The first thing we're going to do is rebalance the body's chemistry, help the body. You said earlier, help the brain, so that if you help reduce the stress levels, then you can make better, happier choices, or choices that are more in line with the goal you have for yourself. So we're going to start with your gut. The gut is super important because when you eat, that's kind of like the logistics department. That's where, if you have truckloads of equipment or construction material coming to a job site, Like it comes in these trucks and it goes to your loading dock and logistics. Now, how things are transported and filed is what's important. So I recommend to all of my clients, 100%, all of them, to start with a 2-week detox. That's where you start. You're not focusing about weight loss. You're not focusing about anything else other than detox. And we do that with activated charcoal. So if you find a good provider of activated charcoal, I don't have a relationship with any of them, so feel free to do your research. Activated charcoal, 2 capsules at night, 2 capsules in the morning. Activated charcoal is going to go through you. It is not absorbable by the body. But because of its electromagnetic composition, toxins bind to it. So they act as a magnet. Hello, how easier can we get? How much easier can we get than just something going through you, picking up the trash and throwing it in the morning? So that is one of my favorites. Activated charcoal has to be part of your first step, at least for 15 days or your first 20 days. Do it for 30. Boom, you already have your first 30 days. In the evening, in the morning. 2, probiotics. We have to help your body regulate how food is processed. And a lot of our intestines are congested with bacteria, candida, fungus, and overgrowth of other uninvited guests. That's how I call them, that are really not helping you process food. So my go-to for that is pineapple in the morning. A little bit of pineapple, chew that pineapple on an empty stomach, and that's the first food that goes through you. Just a little bit is enough, but it has bromelain, and bromelain is going to help you process those toxins. So pineapple, if you don't have pineapple, papaya or kiwi or grapefruit, any of the citruses will do fantastic. And probiotics. So if you're looking for a probiotic brand, I prefer that you buy non-dairy base. So a yogurt is dairy base, and in average, a yogurt has about 10 million probiotics per serving. I would like for you to find a coconut water base one, if it's a liquid, in the refrigerated section that has at least 100 billion per serving. Mm-hmm. Or if it's in capsules, I also prefer the refrigerated section, because think of probiotics as the extra soldiers that are going to go help you fight. So they're literally good, healthy bacteria that you're intaking so they can go help the body stay healthy. So regulating probiotic flora in your body is super important. Try to find maybe 7 to 15 different strains in one product. And those would be kind of my go-tos to get started. Activated charcoal, some pineapple in the morning, or a fruit to help you flush, and some probiotics.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Voila. 1, 2, 3.
Super easy. Yes.
Super easy. Super easy. So you can also give that Christmas list
Yay.
to somebody else. Write it out, and make sure that if you haven't watched the podcast or episode or tuned into the episode about stress management gifts, this is like a good idea for a gift. Write it down and gift it to somebody else also. Such a fun idea, and so valuable, not just fun, but very, very valuable. I wanted to spend the next bit of time talking about, because I also think people think these problems in weight start happening more like when you're 30, 40, 50. But what we're seeing in the general population really is the weight problems starting much younger, and the health problems starting much, much younger. So we were talking about in the tarot deck, or in mythology, there's the mythology of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Yes. And we identify with those archetypes depending on what age we're at, and sort of what we can expect and what we're trying to master in those times of life, so the maiden being young, the mother being a mother, obviously, and then the crone being into old age. But a lot of the diseases, including weight stuff, we're seeing far before the mother phase of things. We're seeing it in the maiden phase of things. And that people's normal idea or normalization of weight has changed very much. So it's more than just social pressure, because I see a lot of the social pressure things where people are going, oh, don't fat shame, and oh, don't whatever. So this is not about that. This is about know thyself. And I want you to think about, if you're a young lady or a young man and you've got too much weight on your body for your liking. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
That's beautifully said. Yes, for your liking.
For your liking. Then what would you like to do about that? And do you know what's actually happening in your body when you're carrying too much weight? Because it's not just your physical appearance, it's your energetics, including your fertility, your ability to procreate, and what it is that you're actually procreating. When you do, if you're successful, because there's been heavy decline in fertility, yes, related to weight and other things, the things that cause weight, so people who are coming out of that youth and going, man, it's like, I want to have a family, struggles. They can't figure out why, and multiple other issues. But again, going back to this, the weight thing is like doing the internal check and going, how is my weight for me? Am I comfortable in the skin that I'm in or not? And that's your secret. That's not up to anybody else to know. And for you to have that private conversation with yourself. And if you're fine with it, then you don't need to change a thing. But if you're not fine with it, then also maybe, Erika, you can talk about a bit, because we've talked about it briefly in other episodes, but how do people come up with the belief system around what's okay for them? Right. And then, because sometimes people are too harsh with themselves also, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
I'll just hand it over to you in your wheelhouse of expertise.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the maiden, the mother, the crone, and these are just the stages of life in which we find each other. I think one of the key conditions that we're seeing today is acidosis. So our body is incredibly acidic. The diets that we are consuming are acidic forming, and therefore we're really moving away from the optimal balance of alkalinity. And that is being seen with what we're feeding our young kids today. If you go to any restaurant and you see what the kids' menu looks like, it's trash. Yes. If you are listening to us right now and you own a restaurant, please, the kids' menu is trash. It has fried food. It has no way for these young minds and bodies and cells to develop with superfoods and with healthy vitamins and minerals and wholesomeness made by Mama Earth. So, and I see that at restaurants. The mothers are having these salads, and then their kids are having these fried fish and chips and all sorts of craziness with sweet tea and juice that's barely juice because it's concentrated with. Anyways, you get the point. Point is, I went like very passionate there for a second.
Very good.
The point is that we are seeing our young generations a lot more overweight due to toxicity. The water is toxic. The environments we live in, the air, they're under fake air. They're not playing outside enough. And so vitamin D deficiencies and all of these other things. Now we move into adulthood and we enter the era of the mother, right? And now you have stress added to that. So you already are making poor choices because those were maybe the foods that were affordable at the time. And a lot of those foods that are what we call affordable in a supermarket are overly packaged and processed. So it would be almost a better choice to eat as organic, as clean, as raw as you can. And I promise you guys, it's really inexpensive. Like if you eat a packet of crackers or cookies, you can probably sit, if they're small, right? You can eat 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you eat one banana and you eat another banana, how many more bananas can you eat after that? If you eat one banana and one orange, how many more fruits are you going to eat after that? Probably, I dare to guess, not that many more. It's a lot easier to have a pack of crackers and the muffin and a brownie and, right? So it's cheap, it's inexpensive to eat wholesome handfuls of nuts, even though the cost at the supermarket might be a little bit higher overall, right? I promise you, you need less food because your body is satisfied. Anytime that we feel hunger is because the body is saying, hey, I need more fuel. Hey, I need more fuel. So it's sending these signals. So I invite you to pay attention to that. First, acidosis, begin to pay attention to foods that are alkaline forming instead of acidic forming. And you can Google that, or you can go online and find out plenty of lists of alkaline forming foods and try to eat out of that list.
And it's going to take a bit for your brain to calm down also from being on those nutrition plans. We've only got about a minute left. So Erika, final words?
Final words, trust yourself, love yourself, understand that the weight is just a manifestation of the undercurrent of your emotions and your energy.
Beautifully put. And I think we'll be talking more about this subject because there's so much to talk about, to unpack. So wonderful. Thank you again, Erika, for being such a wonderful guest.
Thank you, darling.
Please come to the please come to the 𝑸𝒖𝒐𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒍𝒆 website, check out the podcast version of the video, and then you can come and get the Quadrimune, get your brains figured out, get your body back. Love yourselves, love each other, mind your minds. That's all for us. Bye for now.
Thank you for being a part of our program today. Master Your Life is a presentation of Leaha Mattinson Enterprises, Inc. Join us next time on Master Your Life, helping you to discover the very best of you.